This is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. The A's beat the Mariners last night 7-3, but they clinched their playoff spot before the game even started, with the Rays falling to the Yankees 4-1. The A's still have stuff to play for, though. They're only a game and a half back of the Yankees for the top wild card spot and the opportunity to host the wild card game. Oakland and Seattle are at it again tonight at Safeco Field. We'll have that for you right here on Sports 1140. Pregame 6:45. First pitch is at 7:05. The Steelers beat the Bucs 30-27 last night in Tampa Bay to wrap up Week 3 of the NFL season, and Jimmy Butler has declined Tom Thibodeau's attempts to get him to return to the Timberwolves for the preseason. That's according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. He's seeking a trade and will leave in free agency after this season. Nah, that's Butler, not Wojnarowski that's seeking a trade. It's 7:01 and time to visit StocktonHonda.com anytime, anywhere.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what?
Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning, morning, morning.
You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
Matt Barrows of The Athletic coming up. About 8:05. All guests come to you via the Fire Wings hotline. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com, just wing it. 7:35. We'll have some fun from Media Day. We'll also talk to you about this Jimmy Butler stuff more in detail. Before we get to the A's and the Giants move yesterday, the Buccaneers and Steelers played last night, and I feel ashamed because I'm a fan of Juju Smith-Schuster. I have the same problems Jason Witten has. Jason Witten cannot say Juju Smith-Schuster, and I'm not going to rip him for that. I'll rip him for plenty of other things, like not being good in the booth. Juju Smith-Schuster is a tongue twister. But I want to commend him. First off, he's a wonderful personality. I think he's probably the Joel Embiid of NFL social media. He's so damn good at it. Not to mention the fact that he's a hell of a good young receiver. And right now, Ben Roethlisberger's having serious issues connecting with Antonio Brown. That's tough to watch. But I didn't even know this because I never took a real deep dive on Schuster. I knew he went to USC. I know he's a good young player. But you want to talk about doing the most with your name. Doing the most with your name. I don't know if anybody, or very few in history, I will say. I don't want to be hyperbolic. Hyperbolic. Like hypergolic. I don't want to do that. But Juju Smith-Schuster was born John Smith. That's his given name, is John Smith. No offense to any Johns or any Smiths, of which my father's middle name is John and my wife's maiden name is Smith. So close to my heart. But John Smith is about the most boring name ever.
I know a John and I know a Smith, so I can say this.
Exactly. I have many friends that are Johns and Smiths. I even have some in my family. So his aunt started calling him John when he was a baby and shortened it to Juju. His stepfather's last name is Schuster. And when he turned 18, Juju, not the stepdad, when he turned 18, he hyphenated his name legally. So he went from John Smith to Juju Smith to Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, I will say this. John Smith is a boring yet good NFL receiver that might do something someday, and I don't really care what he does on Twitter. Juju Smith-Schuster is a future superstar who is phenomenal not only on social media, but leveraging his social media.
Schuster star?
He is a Schuster star, Kyle. John Smith is the most...
Do you know what John Smith's NFL ceiling is?
What's that?
John Brown.
Thank you. Hopefully not John Ross, but maybe.
Like John Brown, John Smith, same thing. Just solid NFL receiver. Who was the guy from USC?
Mike Williams?
Nope.
Also a boring name?
Oh, you know what? Never mind. I was thinking of Steve Smith. He did not have a good career.
Well, not the USC one.
Right, not the USC.
The other one had a fine career.
Right, Hall of Fame career.
You could make an argument, Kyle, that, and we'll just stick with the NFL, that John Smith was at least tied for the most boring name in the NFL. Remember, when Key and Peele did their skit with all the crazy names in it, Dan Smith was the one that went to BYU. That was the joke. John is actually probably more boring than Dan. He went from the most boring name in the NFL, John Smith, to probably maybe one of the best names in the NFL, Juju Smith-Schuster. And I just want to say, applause. Well done. Well done. We also have breaking news out of the NFL. All right, everybody, hold on to your you-know-what and grab your you-know-whatevers. Amazon has just announced that Hannah Storm and Andrea Kramer will be the announcing team for Amazon Prime's presentation of 11 Thursday night football games this year. Hannah Storm and Andrea Kramer, that's your announcing team. Kyle, what is going on in this world? Not one, but two women are going to be broadcasting an NFL football game. What is this? What is this Travis Shamockery? I won't even be able to listen.
Like, I know you're joking, but it's hard to take it as a joke because what you're saying is going to be a very real sentiment.
Just want to get ahead of it. I'm here for all of the tight asses. What is this? They don't even deserve it.
My former boss at a place that I work,
Mm-hmm.
I will not say where, just totally put the guy on blast. College football. We were talking about college football,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes, "Who's the lady that does college football on ESPN?" And I was like, "Oh, Beth Mowins. I think she's great."
Uh-huh.
He's like, "I can't stand her." I was like,
But do you
really?
say
She's listen.
okay?
I was like, she's super technically sound. Like, she's a really good broadcaster. And he's like, she's a woman.
It's true.
And I kind of like laughed, thinking it was a bit like a joke.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I can't get past that." And he's not even an outlier. Like, go back and look at some of the stuff from week 1 when Beth Mowins and Brian Greasy did the Monday night game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same stuff. Like, dude, grow up.
Oh, I'm looking. Can I give you the first few replies on Twitter?
Please.
Boo.
Mm-hmm.
Guess I'm not watching on Amazon. I'm literally, I'm reading them in a row. I'm not skipping any.
Right. Read them all until you get to a good one.
Would love to see some data on the amount of people that end up muting their televisions. That's a big yikes from me, dog. Ugh. I'm sorry, but this is a horrendous move. I'm as liberal as they come.
Uh-huh.
But a female voice doing NFL games makes me feel like I'm watching high school track. That's a second cousin of I Have Black Friends, just to throw that out there.
Crap, dude.
I thought the Monday Night Crew was bad. Every time I hear first woman to, I always think a man did it first. Can't wait until I'm reading the comments in order. Can't wait until their third week when they're just making passive-aggressive statements to each other. Because, hey, Kyle.
Right,
Because they're women.
Yeah, right.
Probably on their periods. That's probably his point. When will the LGBT community be properly represented in the booth? Let's not stop solely with women. This is awesome news. As a father of 2 young girls, I love this. Thank you for this. There we got it. Now,
What did it take? 9, 10?
Let me just say something. I'm not what you would call a liberal person, whatever that means. I don't want to see women get jobs because they're women. I don't want to see men get jobs because they're men either, by the way. I want to see good broadcasters get jobs because they're good broadcasters.
Sure.
Doris Burke is a phenomenal broadcaster.
Right.
She's not good for a girl. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She's not
she is
neat because she's a lady.
She's arguably the best analyst ESPN has.
She's very good at her job. And I want to hear her insight. If there happens to be two women. Now, I listen, I also don't want a soapbox here. Kyle, I'm being, we were joking at first. Now I'm being serious. It took me a while to get used to women in the broadcast booth. And when I first heard women in the broadcast booth, I was not a huge fan. Not because they weren't good, because I was like, this sounds weird. I'm paying more attention to these women in the broadcast booth than I am paying attention to the game. And you know what? I got over it in about 10 minutes. Yeah, it's different to have a female voice broadcasting an NFL game or a basketball. It is different.
And that's why this announcement from the NFL is important. Because at some point, we need to get to the point where it's not different. And it's just, there are some good broadcasters.
And it's on merit. Here's the thing.
Yes.
We're watching a Monday Night Football game. I will tell you right now. Hannah Storm, why am I forgetting?
Andrea Kramer.
And Andrea Kramer.
Two prominent voices.
I will put them with Joe Tessitore on the Monday Night Football broadcast. No offense to Booger, probably some offense to Jason Witten.
So you're frying Jason Witten.
But I will say that trio, I'll take any day of the week over the current trio. And I can think of a few announcing crews in football right now. They're already better than. So I'm okay with men being on the sideline. I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with women in an announcer's booth, not because we're trying to be progressive as a network and I feel like we need to put women in there. No, because they busted their ass. They're good. And you're going to get over the fact that a perhaps higher-pitched voice or a female voice is calling the football game for you in a few minutes. And not to get too – I'm going to get a little too soapboxy here. No, I'm going to get a little –
We got to go.
I'm going to get a little – I just want to say
Jump up there.
And then I'm going to jump right back down. I'm going to piss off half our audience.
Perfect.
But I will say that once upon a time, why is that black guy on the baseball field? That's weird was a thing. It was. Why are they playing baseball? Why are they not in there? That was a thing. And you know what? We got over it. And you know what? It's great. And you know what? It's the way it should be. Whenever there's a change, people lose it a little bit.
Equality, guys. Catch the wave.
Equality on merit, not equality because you're forcing it.
Obviously.
And this is beyond. You're talking about two broadcasters that have been around. They are beyond qualified. If this is the qualification line, you need to see it on video to do this, but I'm making a line with my hand. They are, if the qualification line's at the 50-yard line, they're on the 5-yard line on the other way. This isn't like rando A and rando B person. It's two phenomenal broadcasters.
Rajon Rondo.
I'd love to see him get into broadcasting someday. Hey, the A's clinched a playoff spot. They drank champagne, and the TV crew screwed up their celebration. We're going to have to fit this in a little bit later. That Amazon thing just came down. I wanted to touch that, too. And Bobby Evans was fired as the general manager of the Giants. He's been asked to stay on in some capacity. Brian Sabean retains his job. Bobby Evans had been there over 2 decades. I think he got there the year after Sabean in 93, 94? So that's a big deal for the San Francisco Giants, who've had 2 losing seasons in a row. We just don't tolerate that in San Francisco. Not Titletown, buddy.
Hey, we have a pair of tickets to see the Sacramento Republic FC take on Seattle this Saturday at Papa Murphy's Park. It is 5 years of glory celebration night. Get your tickets and more info at sacrepublicfc.com. We'll give those away in the third hour.
4 down territory. Coming up next, right here on The Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK.
Sports 1140 KHTK has made your mornings even better. Check out The Drive every morning on KHTK.com to not only hear the show, but to see the show as well. The Drive is now video streaming every morning from 6 to 9 on KHTK.com. All presented by the Sacramento Republic FC and by Jiffy Lube.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends over at Hoblet. You hear me talk about Hoblet every day, okay? Unlike my other endorsements, though, whom I, by the way, equally love. Let's be very clear on this. But I am involved with my Hoblet endorsement each and every day because it's the vehicle I drive. I drive it. I park it in my driveway. I bring it here. I bring it home. I experience on a daily basis what my Hoblet Ram does for me, my 2019 Laramie Hemi 1500. I've told this story before. I'll tell it again. Never been a truck guy. Never. My first vehicle when I was 18 was a $300 1977 white Datsun pickup, stick shift. You had to tie wires underneath the dashboard together to get the headlights to work. I know that sounds like some made-up old man story like my dad used to tell me, but I swear on my kids' lives, that is 100% true. And I drove that thing all over Northern California because I used to have to commute to Stockton and commute to Daly City and Concord for my job. And I vowed never to have a truck again. And then I made friends with Hoblet. And I realized, my goodness gracious, the amount of stuff I can haul around. Now, I'm not hauling around dirt and bricks and stuff, but when I go camping, my kids aren't sardines. It's a luxury car on the inside. It's a big monster truck on the outside.
Right, when you go camping, you can toss your kids in the back.
Thank you. Or
all your gear
right
in the cab.
Just kidding. Don't send letters. But Kyle's point is very valid. Right now, during the Ram Power Days, you can take up to $12,000 off MSRP on the select 2019 Ram 1500 trucks, $18,000 off MSRP on select 2018 Ram 1500s, over 1,100 in stock. Check them out online at hobletdodge.com. Just 7 minutes from the airport in Woodland, and take an extra $1,000 off, Kyle, by telling them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
So you say it hasn't happened to you yet. Well, we hope it never does. But chances are, sooner or later, your pipes will clog and you'll have a drainage problem. It's a part of home ownership that stinks, sometimes literally, and DIY quick fixes won't cut it. Fortunately, the home service heroes at Bonnie can fly out to your house and make that big problem go away fast. Yep, in 8 out of 10 cases, Bonnie can make your drain problem go away by cabling out your drain line for just $97. And if you're the exception, you'll really be glad you called Bonnie and not some Jake with a snake plumbing and drain guy. Bonnie has the specialized cameras to diagnose your problem correctly, and our stand-up techs will show you the pictures, explain the problem, and lay out all your options. Plus, we'll fix the problem for the price quoted, guaranteed. So call Bonnie for your drain problems and we'll save the day fast, typically for just $97. For details, go to bonnie.com. License 696355. BONNEY, bonnie.com.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, brought to you by Cintas. Every day, over 1 million businesses depend on Cintas. Get Cintas and get ready for the workday. After Dolphins defensive lineman William Hayes tore his ACL trying to avoid putting his body weight on Derek Carr while sacking him, ESPN's Trey Wingo tweeted, "So in an attempt to keep a quarterback safe, a defensive lineman's season is over." At this point, outspoken 49ers cornerback Richard Sherman couldn't keep his thumbs off the touchscreen. "They don't care about the rest of us getting hurt," he wrote, "long as the quarterback is safe." That's just laughable, folks. Yes, roughing the passer is now being called way too aggressively, but the helmet rule and the anti-crackback blocking rules were designed to protect all players. Perhaps Sherman should get in touch with some of the former players who are struggling due to their football injuries. Maybe he'd like to donate some of his $56 million to player causes. Either way, it's ridiculous. I'm Boomer Esiason.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's premier home purchase lender. Today's fluctuating interest rates can leave you with unexpected higher mortgage payments. At Quicken Loans, we've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates so you can buy a home with certainty. It's called Rate Shield, and here's how it works. With Rate Shield, you can lock your interest rate while you shop for a new home. So if rates go up, you don't have to worry. And here's the best part. If rates go down, you get the lower rate. With Rate Shield, we really have you covered. Here are more reasons why you'll want to work with America's largest mortgage lender. For 8 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 5th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Rate Shield, another way we can save you money on your mortgage. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Based on Rocket Mortgage data in comparison to public data records. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Tune into A's baseball all season long on Sports 1140 KHTK. Brought to you by Chase Chevrolet in Stockton. Chase, find new roads. Chase Chevrolet, buy into it.
It's time for 4 Down Territory on The Drive. First down.
Four Down Territory brought to you by Fire Wings. What is it, 9 flavors to choose from?
There are 12 more flavors than that, Dave. There are 21.
21? As in blackjack? 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it. Hey, question number 1.
Is there any chance Jameis Winston starts for Tampa Bay next week?
By any chance, I mean, hey. Yes.
Right.
It's the NFL. I don't know Dirk Cutter personally. He might be really dumb. I don't know. Should there be any chance? No. No. Are you kidding me? Ryan Fitzpatrick just threw for 400 yards in 3 straight games. They're a drive away from being 3-0. Nobody expected this out of Tampa Bay. They're doing it with a mishmash running game. Mike Evans, a rejuvenated Deshaun Jackson, a good young tight end, and a quarterback that admittedly is sporadic. We've seen Ryan Fitzpatrick do great things in the past, and we've seen him do horrific things in the past. And last night, there were times he was horrific. But I would say this, Kyle. Ryan Fitzpatrick, for all his numbers, Ryan Fitzpatrick had interceptions. 3 to be exact. And they lost.
Did have interceptions.
And they lost by a field goal. Yeah, you can't. I don't care who. And, you know, Jameis Winston, Florida State. I'm a huge Knowles honk, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't be more against starting him for many reasons.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick is not. If the Buccaneers offense has any flaws right now, it's not Ryan Fitzpatrick.
No.
He threw some bad interceptions last night, but you knew that was coming. That's Ryan Fitzpatrick's MO. He was still 30 of 50 for 411 and 3 touchdowns to go along with it.
Second down.
Second down.
Did the Steelers win help make the case that they don't need Le'Veon Bell, or was it the opposite?
I mean, they won without him. Le'Veon Bell is perhaps the best running back in the NFL, and if not, he's in the top 3. And he's probably the best two-way threat running back in the NFL. He's very, very good. But what you're seeing here right now is the divorce of Le'Veon Bell from Pittsburgh. Kyle, I would be not surprised. I would be shocked. Shocked, I tell you, if Le'Veon Bell ever suited up for the Steelers again. He's gone. He's gone, and they're figuring it out. They're starting to take questions on him. The Jets called yesterday. They had a conversation. We know that. Le'Veon Bell is almost certainly not going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler for long. And what you're seeing here is a team that's going, hey, listen, we don't want to commit that type of money to a running back, and we can plug James Conner in, who is very talented. We can plug this guy in, and we're not going to be as good as if we had Bell and Conner, but we'll be good enough. And that money we're saving, that's going to go bring us somebody who can help us a lot more than Le'Veon Bell could without James Conner, if that makes sense.
Can I keep it real with you, Chief?
Keep it real, Chief.
I'm sick of talking about Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah? Why is that? I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong.
Because it's been the same conversation all season. Can they survive without him? Okay, week 1, James Conner has a great game. Oh, the Steelers don't actually need Le'Veon Bell, but then he has a bad week 2 and they're 0-1-1. Oh, maybe the Steelers do need Le'Veon Bell, and then they win, but they barely squeak out a victory where they get shut out in the second half. Oh, do they need Le'Veon Bell? It's like, dude, you hit it on the head. I don't think he's coming back.
Don't think he's coming back, and
it's a conversation that's not worth having, because I don't think any amount of success or not success, a success or failure the Steelers have is going to change the fact that Le'Veon Bell's not coming back.
Also, really difficult, if you read into it, really difficult to make a move for him too. That is a weird, complicated, layered situation.
There's no incentive to trade draft picks for him.
No.
Because you can sign him in free agency.
And the Steelers really don't have much of an incentive to trade for him unless somebody's dumb enough to do that.
Right.
Because you can't negotiate with him.
Right.
We'll see. Third down.
Third down.
John Gruden says Derek Carr may have played too aggressive on Sunday. Do you agree?
John Gruden needs to shut his face.
Man.
I mean, he really just does need to shut his face. Come on, dude. What has the line been on Derek Carr for, I don't know, the last year and 3 games? He got injured. He's afraid to take a hit. He doesn't want to go downfield. He's playing scared. Did Carr force a pass or two? Yeah, absolutely he did. Absolutely he did. It's not that Gruden's sentiment is technically inaccurate, because it's not. But Derek Carr, what did he in week 2? Missed 2 passes, 3 passes, was incredibly efficient. And last week, he threw for 345 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, he threw 2 picks. But if I'm the head coach, and I'm not, and I make $10 million less than John Gruden does to coach football. But if I'm in John Gruden's spot, you know what I do? I'm backing up my quarterback in every aspect of everything, especially the media and the narrative on him. And what Gruden said yesterday, just if I'm Derek Carr, I'm going, dude, what do you want from me?
Yes, because after week 1, it was, there were some deep shots he missed. And, now he's too aggressive. It seems like, getting away from just Derek Carr for a minute, it seems like John Gruden's doing everything in his power here to absolve himself of all blame for any of this. We need a pass rush. You got to ask Reggie McKenzie about the Khalil Mack trade. No, Derek Carr wasn't aggressive enough. Oh, now he's too aggressive. Now he's hiring his own scouts and has his own scouting department, his own draft board. Trying to say, the guys on this team just aren't good enough.
He hasn't gotten off to a good start.
He's over.
He's over everything, basically.
The one shining thing is I think Derek Carr's 3rd in the league in passing yards, which is a flawed statistic.
And Jared Cook has been unlocked. And Jordy Nelson had a phenomenal game. Their running game has been decent. But John Gruden just needs to remember, dude, you're not in the booth anymore. You're not in the booth. You're not doing Gruden's QB camp. You're a head coach. Just shut up and back up your guys and stop doing crap in the media. 4th down.
4th down. 4th down.
What did we learn about the Buccaneers and Steelers last night?
Real quick, I think we learned, and it's tough when you have 2 teams going at it that you have questions about. I think we learned that the Buccaneers could be a for real 9-7, 10-6 team. I think they could. And I think the Steelers are who we thought they were, which is probably not a Super Bowl contender, but a lot better than their record showed. If you told me that both the Steelers and Buccaneers would have 10 wins this year, I wouldn't be shocked. If you told me they both have at least 9 wins this year, I'd say you're probably right. Injuries can happen. Opposing coaches get paid to scheme against these guys and watch film. But I'm not looking at the Buccaneers right now through 3 weeks and going, "Oh, that's a scam." That's not going to continue. I don't see any reason why it won't. Nobody can stop them on offense much. Their defense is okay. And if for some reason Fitzpatrick does turn into Ryan Fitzpatrick again and becomes a pumpkin, well, you got a pretty good quarterback behind him that's coming off a suspension.
Yeah, the Steelers, they can't stop anybody. We saw that in the second half last night. I think a lot of their turnovers were Ryan Fitzpatrick related. And Ryan Fitzpatrick is not good enough to get your team anywhere beyond maybe a 9 or 10 win season.
No.
That might get you 10 wins, might get you a wild card spot, maybe. But are you picking the Buccaneers in a playoff game? I'm not.
I need
on the road in a playoff game.
I will say this, Kyle, and I think you'll agree with me. Your years and my years of watching and covering the NFL has taught me one valuable lesson, which is it is very difficult for me in week 3 to make proclamations about any team at the end of the year.
Totally.
And if
I'm making proclamations based on 14 seasons of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I get it. But if you told me that if the Buccaneers by the end of the year end up in the NFC Championship, I would be really surprised. But this is the NFL.
I would be floored.
At the same time, at the beginning of the playoffs last year, I, amongst with 90% of everybody else, thought the Eagles had no chance with Nick freaking Foles behind center. And look what happened. It's why the NFL is great. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're way, way late. We're going to catch up on time. We're going to get to the Kings and Jimmy Butler. We'll delve into that. Also, Kyle and I were out at Media Day yesterday. We have some fun sound from the players as well. We'll get into that too. And then also, we got the driveys to do in the next segment. My goodness. We're going to have to spread some stuff out because Matt Barrows is coming on at 8:05. We'll take a break. Back in a couple with everything. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Raider Nation, join my partner Lincoln Kennedy and I each and every week for Raiders football right here on your home of the Raiders, Sports 1140 KHTK.
Hey, we got a touchdown. Let's
How about
celebrate.
that? That's right. Now the crowd comes alive.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friend Dr. Jack Friedlander. And everybody over at NorCal Lipo. You know what I love and don't like at the same time is that you guys listen to our spots. You've heard them for years, and you incorporate them. For example, I posted a couple pictures yesterday for Media Day. I just want to thank everybody for letting me know that, hey, might be time to go visit Dr. Jack. In other words, hey, Dave, you're fat. Thanks. I appreciate it. But, listen, people gain weight. It happens. It happens. Some people go to the gym, they diet, they work out, that whole deal, and they've still got that one or those two spots on their body they just can't make right. It's very difficult to isolate parts of your body. Or you got people like me, there's like, man, I don't know. I like that frozen pizza for lunch. Okay, that bag of Jolly Ranchers looks good at night. Let me pound a couple of those while watching football. Whatever it is. You take a shortcut, go to Dr. Jack. His Vaser and Vaser high-def technology permanently removes fat, reveals the muscles you have underneath, and give you the body of your dreams. Now, give him a call and get yourself a free, no-obligation consultation. Just let him know what he can do for you. He'll let you know what he can and can't do. 347-7755. That's 916-347-7755 at NorCalLipo.com. That's NorCalLipo.com. Getting there today. And you tell him your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 1-800-GAMBLE. So over the last couple of weeks, I've had several trips out to Stone's Gambling Hall, located right off I-80 at Antelope. And again, amazed. Just absolutely amazed every time I head into Stone's Gambling Hall. One of the nights I was there, they had a band playing great music while we were there, eating at Sammy's, having an incredible meal, also having a good time with buddies, watching games on TV. Then we made our way to the gaming. And that is one of the coolest things because they gave a $25 match play when I downloaded the app and signed up for their player's card. My buddies did the same thing. It was very simple. Keep the card, keep accruing points, keep the app, keep getting specials. It's that simple. And if you like playing card games like poker or Baccarat or California Blackjack, my personal favorite, then you owe it to yourself to go and do this. It's that easy. $25 match play, and all you have to do is download the app. Make it simple for yourself and win some money with their money. Take my word for it. Download the app, sign up, and get $25 in match play only at Stone's. Again, located off I-80 at Antelope. Stone's Gambling Hall, the one, the only.
No matter who you are, there's something special about saying, I'm a college graduate. And it's even better when you can apply what you're learning to the career path you're pursuing. At Colorado State University Global Campus, our 100% online programs are personalized to align with your goals, so you'll be more than ready for the job market. When you receive your bachelor's degree, you'll already be using the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed. Visit csuglobal.edu, where online education isn't another thing we do, it's all we do.
Boaters, remember to have your boat inspected and to display a current Lake County mussel sticker as proof of screening before launching on Clear Lake. Quagga and zebra mussels can spread unseen in water, on weeds, or on your boat and trailer. Always clean, drain, and dry your boat. Get more information about invasive mussel prevention and boat inspection at nomussels.com. This message is brought to you by the Lake County Watershed Protection District with funding from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Big things are happening at Stockton Honda with the introduction of the all-new redesigned 2019 Honda Insight Hybrid. This premium compact sedan provides appealing style and fuel efficiency that rivals other leading hybrid models. You gotta check out this premium compact sedan, the 2019 Honda Insight Hybrid. You won't be disappointed. Come in today and meet our friendly staff or go to StocktonHonda.com. Stockton Honda. Anytime, anywhere.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. If your brakes go out, you're going to fix them yourself? Of course you wouldn't. If your electrical panel fails, you're going to rewire your house? Of course not. Before surgery, you're going to administer your own anesthesia? Not a chance. Then why would you even consider handling your own personal injury case without Ashton & Price? When you retain Ashton & Price, we will take over all aspects of your case, so you can focus on the most important thing, getting back your health. There's never a fee unless you win, so call Ashton & Price for a free consultation.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
In the market for a new car or truck? Shop at Elk Grove Ford, Sacramento's family-owned, customer-first Ford dealership.
They feature the best deals, the largest selection, and the most enjoyable purchase experience available.
Elk Grove Ford in the Elk Grove Auto Mall.
Elk Grove sells Fords.
Sports 1140 KHTK's coverage of high school football is presented by Wingstop. Listen every Friday night to the Wingstop High School Football Wrap-Up Show and get all the coverage on KHTK.com.
Now your sports update. Sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
Hey, it's Kyle Madsen. These are your top stories on Sports 1140. The A's beat the Mariners 7-3 last night. They clinched a playoff spot earlier than that, though, after the Yankees beat the Rays 4-1. The A's remain a game and a half back of the Yankees for the top wild card spot and the opportunity to host the wild card game. The A's and Mariners are at it again tonight at Safeco Field up in Seattle. Pre-game 6:45, first pitch 7:05. You can hear that right here on Sports 1140. Week 3 of the NFL wrapped up last night with the Steelers beating the Buccaneers 30-27, and Jimmy Butler wants out of Minnesota. Tom Thibodeau's attempts to get him to return to the Timberwolves were for naught, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. He's seeking a trade, and he'll leave in free agency after this season. It's 7:37, and time to visit StocktonHonda.com anytime, anywhere.
It's The Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Matt Barrows will join us at 8:05 from The Athletic. Obviously, we will do a deep dive, not just on Jimmy Garoppolo's injury, but where the Niners go from here. And Jimmy wasn't the only injury of note for the Niners. Wall-to-wall Niner coverage here in that segment, because we'll not only have Matt Barrows, we will also have NinersWire.com's Kyle Madsen with us. So it will be very smart footballing. I'll just be handing, much like if I was an NFL quarterback, I'll just be handing the ball off. I'll be hiking the ball, and I'll be handing it off to Kyle and to Matt Barrows. So stay tuned for that. We were out at Kings Media Day yesterday. We'll get to that in just a second. I want to talk to you. A lot of people are asking. Obviously, Adrian Wojnarowski late last night posted an article on the Kings' involvement, or potential involvement, I should say, in the Jimmy Butler deal. Now, for starters, one thing of note from yesterday involving Jimmy Butler was Tom Thibodeau reportedly making a last-ditch effort to convince Jimmy Butler to stay, of which Jimmy Butler said, LOL, not doing it. In fact, here's a quote from Jimmy Butler. I think that's exactly what he said to Tom Thibodeau. Well, it appears now that because of that cap space, the Kings almost have to be involved for anything to be pulled off to help facilitate things for other teams. We'll get into that in just a second. Welcome into The Drive. Good morning, caller. How are you? Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I just wanted to touch base on the previous segment. You guys talking about the Raiders, talking about football in general.
Yep.
And kind of something also you guys were talking about yesterday. I agree with you, Dave. I think that the Raiders are better than the record indicates. I think that, because it's a long season, I think one of the biggest things I'd like to see, and I think will happen as it goes on, is just the execution of the offense later in the game. You see like big plays early in the game, and then they disappear. And I think that this team is built. The defense has played better than I think you expected, but this defense isn't built to win the game. It's the offense. That's what Gruden's specialty is. So I think that at the end of the game, the defense is going to keep you in it. It's going to be up to Derek Carr and the offense to execute better and get these wins. And I do think that we'll start to see that as it goes on. And look, this is Derek Carr's It's another new system for him. I mean, he's had an OC almost every year. So I think as time goes on with Gruden, we're going to see this offense get better and better. It's just going to take time. I mean, he's You know, he's finally got a coach that's obviously going to be there a while. So I think that the longer he's in it, the better he's going to look, and I think the better the offense will be.
I agree with everything you're saying. I do think they're better. I think they're going to get the first win against the Browns. I think they're going to look great in that game. Not perfect, but great. And I think 13, 19, and 20 points is not going to get it done, and that's what the offense has done so far. But it is a tale of two halves, as we've said. The Raiders have outscored their opponents in every half this year. The Raiders have not trailed for a single snap prior to the third quarter. Prior to the fourth quarter. That's a big deal.
Marshawn Lynch said it, man. They're a couple plays away.
I agree. They're still 0-3. They're still 0-3, and that's the bottom line.
At some point, you are what your record says.
Right. Jerry.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, was watching that game last night, and, you know, I'm already kind of down on the announcers because I just don't think they just have the quality that they used to. And I had to change the channel once they started talking about LeVar Bell. Just kind of tired about that subject, and just to hear those guys start to talk about it made me want to change the channel. I'm kind of wondering if anybody else out there feels the same.
Now, that's not even the biggest story from yesterday. The big story was Jason Witten talking about the rules on, I think it was sacking the quarterback or rushing the passer, and Witten said that the NFL's gone left wing on it. I'm paraphrasing, but he said something to that effect, and now everybody's freaking out that he made it political. ESPN said in a statement yesterday it wasn't political at all. That's not what he was trying to say, but that was a big story from yesterday. It was like, Jason Witten's getting political. What is he saying? That soft liberals don't want to see quarterbacks get hurt?
Yeah, but I think it was just the back and forth between Witten and the announcer and then the other people who were also involved in the broadcast. It just was a real turnoff for me.
No, I got you. Hey, Kyle, by the way, not for nothing, I'll stick my head in Lion's mouth. Witten shouldn't have said that. But I'm just saying, I think that if you took a poll of liberals and a poll of conservatives, I would probably bet that the majority of conservative people would say, I don't care, kill the quarterback, and the majority of liberals, no, listen, you have to understand CTE, whatever. I don't want to bring that into the broadcast.
I just sent this over to you. This is from Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
He had his appearance on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. He said the emphasis, this is from Todd Archer, who's at ESPN.
Hey, Todd.
Said the emphasis on protecting the quarterback, specifically a defender landing with his full body weight on the quarterback, has changed the game from its past more than any rule he has seen. Quote, the way I see our future is a real serious emphasis on youth football, amateur football. I see it reflected at the high school level. Then a step above that will be the collegiate level. And I see a collegiate game that certainly has a lot of finesse in it, but is a great game and makes these kind of adjustments we're talking about, Jones said. Hey, player safety adjustments.
Right.
Talking about targeting rules, stuff like that. But when it comes to pro football, to use a boxing term, that's when you put the 6-ounce gloves on. That's when you don't want to fight with those 10-ounce gloves, or you don't fight with those headgears. Everybody's being really paid to go out, and you're paid a lot of money to go out and incur those type situations that have more risks in them. It's real important that pro football distinguish itself as a very physical game relative to the game at college, relative to the game at high school and amateur. That's very important.
Okay.
Basically saying NFL players are paid to go out and get CTE.
All right,
They're not.
I'll take that side. I'll take that side for a second.
That's so rough.
Well, let's talk about it.
That's brutal.
I don't think it's black and white. I do think there's room for movement. When you sign up to play football, there is an inherent understanding that is becoming more and more clear through the years.
Yes.
That football is not good for your health.
Right.
Okay. I am very much aware of what it used to be. And I use smoking as an example. It's not a perfect comparison. But back in the 50s, you had Fred Flintstone smoking a pack of Luckies, and 9 out of 10 doctors prefer Camels. And you had a fraud perpetuated on society about smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Now anybody that smokes is just stupid. You're taking years off your life, and you know this, but you do it anyways because you're a drug addict. But you're aware of it. Nobody today is smoking going, I don't know, it might be healthy. NFL. There was a time when the NFL actively participated in a fraudulent cover-up towards its players and the public on health risks to players. And we still don't know everything.
Correct.
But we do know that getting hit hard repeatedly will jar your brain, and that is not good, and people are dying because of it.
Mm-hmm.
People also, in all walks of, not all walks of life, but several walks of life, they choose to participate in dangerous occupations for a variety of reasons.
Sure.
You're a firefighter. You're a police officer. You're a member of the military. And obviously I'm taking hardcore examples of heroes and comparing it to a game, and that's faulty. My point is they walk in understanding the danger, but that's what they want to do. It doesn't mean it's okay if somebody dies. It doesn't mean it's okay if somebody gets concussed or CTE. And it also doesn't mean that we shouldn't do things that can help protect them when it's unnecessary. But at some point, to me, you have to be able to kill the quarterback because your job's to kill the quarterback. And I mean that obviously figuratively. You have to be able to hit the guy.
Right. There were like 3 roughing the passers last night that were all should not have been roughing the passer. And that I get. And if you want to say, hey, man, like you have to be able to tackle the quarterback because that's the job of the defense. Like that is a pass rusher's job, a blitzer's job is to put the quarterback on the ground.
Yes.
In expedient fashion.
Yes.
Not to watch out for their health. Like they obviously do that. No players want to hurt other players unless you're Vontaze Burfict.
Correct.
The problem I have with what Jones is saying is that players earn that money by going out and getting hurt. And that is something I don't agree with. I don't think the money they're paid is tied at all to he's implying that players should be making less money because the NFL rules are changing, and I just don't.
I don't agree with that, but
that's my problem.
I think part of their job is if they're doing their job correctly, they're putting themselves in harm's way.
Yeah, and NFL players know this.
Sure, they do.
And,
well, kind of.
And the Richard Sherman said it yesterday on Twitter that the NFL only cares about player safety as far as the quarterback goes.
Sure.
And I agree with that.
Why don't you ask William Hayes of the Dolphins?
Yeah, which is what he was talking about.
He's out for the year because he tried to lay the quarterback down and give him a kiss instead of tackling him.
So I think Jones is trying to make a point that, like, you're at the professional level playing an inherently violent game. Like, bad things happen.
Yeah.
And fans know that. Players know that.
Yep.
But to try and tie in like player salary to the risk they're incurring, and they're paid to go incur those risks. Like, no, they're not. They're paid because they make assloads of money for you.
Jerry, I'm not dying on a hill with Jerry Jones because, as usual, he's sloppy and obtuse when it comes to the point he's trying to get across.
Yes.
But I
think I agree with the point he's trying to get across.
Sure.
But he's doing it in a very poor way, and I think he comes at it from a different way.
I completely agree. We're on the same page there. There has to be, at some point, there has to be a thought of this is a violent game, and people, if they play football, they're going to get concussed. They're going to get CTE. They're going to die early. They're going to die early. They're going to get injured. Just like if you work in a mine, you're probably at some point going to get lung cancer or some form of cancer because of what you're inhaling. Or if you paint for a living. I'm not talking about, with brushes. I'm talking about like painting cars.
Sure.
We can look at a billion jobs that if you choose to participate in that job, you're probably going to die early and you're probably going to get some disease. The difference is, in most cases, is that the guy painting, he's making high 5, low 6 figures a year, and he's going to be on Social Security for his retirement. NFL guy, in most cases, making hundreds, if not millions of dollars a year to do what they're doing. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't mean that, I'm paying you more, so you should die. That, of course, that's not what that means. But Jesus, at some point, hit the damn quarterback.
Yeah. I'm Clay Matthews should not have been penalized in either of the last 2 weeks.
No.
Not even close.
No.
Not even like, we should. DeMonte Casey, the defensive back that flew in helmet first to Cam Newton as he was sliding, like that to me is trash. That's an avoidable helmet-to-helmet hit, which is what the NFL is trying to legislate.
We don't want to see spearing. We don't want to see body slams. We don't need to see unnecessary violence in the game, hitting a defenseless receiver. But, dude, if you're coming across the middle and I'm a safety, I'm coming across the middle and your hands touch the ball and I'm trying to jar it out and I just stick you flat, I truck your ass.
I'm with you on this.
That's football.
I'm with you. Now, if you fly in head first.
Of course.
If you're that safety, you put your arms at your sides and fly in with your helmet.
Penalty. And it should be.
Yes.
Because it's dangerous both to the guy you're hitting and to you.
Yes.
And to you and your neck.
Another problem I have with the roughing the passer and getting away from Jerry Jones here because he's a dweeb.
Yeah.
Did you see the helmet? Did you see the play last night on Ben Roethlisberger where I think it was Gerald McCoy? Might have been Jason Pierre-Paul. Came around and tried to swat at the ball and tap Big Ben's head. And he tapped him softer than players smacking their teammate on the helmet after a good play.
It was so stupid.
Like, there needs to be gray area, man.
That was the point in the beginning I was trying to say, is that we are in a black and white issue, and there is a gray.
Yes.
And every year we get pissed off at some new NFL rule, and we grouse about it and bitch about it, and guess what? Eventually it's okay. This is different.
This is very different.
This is very different, and it's truly making the game less watchable. And when you see ratings being affected, I think ratings are being affected a lot less because the dude kneeled than they are that people are watching this game going, come on, man.
What were there, 27 flags thrown last night? 24?
Something stupid.
I mean, it's just there's no flow to the game. You can't get excited about anything your team does because it's like, oh, is there a flag?
I'd imagine being a fan of that team. By the way, we're talking this as sideline NFL observers. I mean, imagine your Niners or your Raiders or whomever you're rooting for, and you're up 3 or down 3, and you're driving, and you just sacked the 15-yard penalty.
You're the Packers, and you just got a game-sealing interception. And instead of you end up tying the Vikings.
Yeah.
And instead of sitting at 2-0, you're sitting at 1-0-1. Like it's affecting games.
From the 209, you guys are splitting hairs here. I'm glad you texted that because we are.
That's the whole point.
That's what this is. This whole problem is not he's wrong, he's wrong. It's you're both right and you're both wrong.
Yeah.
And we need to bring this together and use actual common sense. Football's a violent game.
Yeah.
If you play it, you're going to likely die early and have chronic issues your entire life. That's a reality. And if that's too harsh for you, don't play the game.
And there are a lot of people who are not.
That's fine.
Yes.
But let's not act like there are not occupations all over the country that are inherently dangerous that people voluntarily decide to participate in because at some point you have to have what's the word I'm looking for? Not responsibility, but I'll say responsibility. That's not what I'm looking for. Text will help me out. You have to be accountability. No one's holding a gun to your head. Now, if you want to get deeper in the argument and say that societal this and that and economic, yeah. I get it. But you know what? I'm going to choose to spend my time more worried about who's going into our military based on.
If you're honestly, man, if you're worried about what NFL players are paid in relation to other dangerous occupations, stop watching.
Yeah.
Stop watching. Stop buying merchandise. Stop going to games. Like if your concern is, hey, you know what, those people who put their lives on the line. And do real jobs to help in society make 10% of what the bottom NFL player makes.
Sure.
Then stop supporting the NFL.
Kyle, the problem, even if you can call it a problem, we got a break here, is that the cold, hard truth, and this isn't for everyone, but the majority of sports fans enjoy watching other people have violent things happen to them. Whether you're watching football, whether you're watching racing.
Go look on YouTube where you can see the actual views.
Look at the view counts.
And go find like just violent videos, skateboard crashes or
let's put
car wrecks.
If we're going to go this route, which by the way goes back to before being a gladiator.
Yes.
And I understand we evolved.
I've seen it.
Great movie. But I love how we're worried about the NFL. Meanwhile, boxing just and mixed martial arts just keeps trucking along. Like, get out of here. It's fodder for sports talk radio. It's fodder for Get Up and all these TV shows. We just did it. Stop being so hypocritical.
Dave?
Yeah?
The test results are in.
Mm-hmm.
And you are the fodder.
I'm the fodder.
That's the laugh that joke deserved.
Matt Barrows will join us next. We'll pick up on Jimmy Butler, and we've got some sound from Kings Media Day for you. What?
Nothing.
Okay. We've got sound from Kings Media Day coming up at 8:30. We got a fun last hour of the show right here on The Drive. Sports 1140 KHTK.